Welcome to good afternoon. This is Sherry Tisdale. I'm your host with Bramlett.
I'm your co-host, Lonnie McQuarters.
Good afternoon. And
Good afternoon. How are you? What did you say about the ice?
I said, are you still trapped in?
I am.
I'm so over it. I said, even with the sunshine, I'm like, okay, you're not bringing me enough warmth. I don't know when we're going to come out of this.
Right, because it's not going anywhere.
It's not
It's not
going
melting or anything. Yeah.
at all. At all. Well, I know you're got big plans, and so what is the weather going to be like when and are you going to London? Is it London first?
Yes, I fly to London next Thursday. I haven't even checked the weather. I mean, I figured it'd be about the same as here or even better as far as like the weather. So,
We
yeah.
hope for better.
Right.
I hope you're not going to go over there and encounter what we have going on right now. I'm already really ready for spring.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like in the 40s and 50s while I'm in London. So it won't be too bad.
Okay, that's not bad. Now, how long of a flight is that?
It really depends on where. I usually fly from New York, so that flight's only 6 hours. So it's kind of like you're flying from New York to LA. So
that's not bad.
being that I'm in the Midwest, I'm going to fly from Dallas. So I've never flown from Dallas to have a layover in Frankfurt. Oh, it's just Germany. So I have a layover there for about an hour. So I've never flown from Dallas to Frankfurt. So we'll see.
Okay.
Well, I love traveling. I'm not scared about the planes falling out of the sky right now. I think that's a whole nother discussion.
Right. Watching that where people are really afraid to fly right now.
Yeah. I'm not. I don't think, I think that's like, I don't know. I have faith that, when it's your time to go, it's your time to go. And it's not going to stop me from doing anything.
Yeah. And in your line of work, travel is.
I have to travel. Yeah.
You have to travel. That is true.
Yeah.
Now, will you prepare? I know you're styling an artist that you're going to be receiving an award. So we get to hear all about that next week. I can't wait. But do you prepare what your concept of what you're going to have her wear, or do you do that in advance, or do you wait till you get there?
I wait till I get there. I have some emails to some showrooms and stuff that I have to send out to try to pull some things once I get there. So we usually have a big pool of clothes that we pull from basically her closet, stuff that we've been collecting for her wardrobe for the past 15 years or so. So, yeah. Have you been to London?
I have not. I've been to Spain, but that London and Paris are on my bucket list. So that is got to.
Yeah.
And I know you said you're going to catch part of the Milan's Fashion Week. So
yeah. So first the Brit Music Awards will be Saturday, March 1st. And my friend Kimberly Nicole, she's hosting and performing. So we're doing that. And then I had checked the calendar. I was like, hey, we just might need to just fly over to Milan. So I checked some on the flights and they're like $40 from London to Milan. So we're going to go for like just a day or two. It'll be the last few days of Milan Fashion Week, which I've never been to Milan. I've been to Italy, but I haven't been to Milan. So it'll be something new, fresh, fun, and see some of the fashion houses and stuff like that. So I'm excited.
I'm excited to hear all about it. That is going to be fantastic. And then we have to plan to do this together in the upcoming year. We talked about it a little bit for New York. Then it's like it came so quick.
It comes so fast. Yes.
It was here.
Yeah. And then gone. Yeah. Comes very, very quickly.
Very quickly. Well, our topic today, we're talking a lot about the rise of the Black male model, and featured several of what are considered the super models, Tyson, Beckford, and I believe Alonso and Adolfo. I know you've worked quite a bit, or you know Tyson Beckford pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to share with us a little bit about that because, we talked a little bit yesterday. You do see in here, and we can recall several of the black female supermodels, but you
Right.
often don't hear about the black male models. And with you working in the industry, do you see a significant difference in how they're received or the level of success for the black male? Or is it an equal playing field?
Gosh, I think it's even more hard and difficult for the black super male or male model. I think they have so many. We have said we have a lot of things to overcome in the industry, in the fashion industry. Just those gates being closed and not open, being that first face and able to sell product to white people, white products to white people, but also making it known for yourself, and then also trying to work with black designers and crossing that line. I mean, I guess I saw that happen growing up. It wasn't any black supermodels me growing up. The first one was Tyson Beckford, and it was very satisfying to see representation of myself on TV. The
Right.
same as what kind of how you saw
Right.
Keith Cleveland.
Yes.
So he did what he did, and I think it took the black female supermodel for the black male model for those doors to be open. There was a lot of work that was done on the other side.
And I know you said you've got some stories and you've done several things with Tyson, but what would you say that was significant about? Because I know we've had other male models prior to Tyson, but what was it, or what would you say that was? I don't want to say because we're all unique, right? But that you would say that may have been his star power that captured and propelled his career to take off like it did.
Well, I think him being in the place at the right place at the right time, showing up. When we talk about showing up and being in those places, when hanging out, the last time I hung out with him, we were at the front row of Custo Barcelona, one of the designers that present during Fashion Week in New York. And he was so very happy that there were black male models in the show. He got us to sit front row as me, Brianna, a few of my other friends. And Brianna's been a guest on our show. And that's funny. We didn't talk about this, but that would have been funny. We talk about this and him standing up during the show and clapping his hands and saying, go black boy, as the male models are walking down the runway. It was very surreal, was very funny, but was very needed. And I think that he needed to show his expression, what he's done. And, him being happy for the next black man to come behind him, and it's not, I guess, a gatekeeping thing with him. He's like, come on, he's happy. He's happy about it. So I think that a lot of black models in the industry, it's you should be happy for the next, model to come along. It's not, someone opened the doors for you, and so you should have the door open a little.
And that's absolutely true. Now, in terms of representation, I know being in the right place at the right time, certainly. But do you see a disparity in when black male models are, trying to get in, breaking in with the major modeling agencies, getting an agent? Do they get the same opportunities that some of the female? Because I was looking at, there's seemingly a very significant difference even on this pay scale.
Right.
Like, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. And I think also the availability of the jobs.
Okay.
I think generally there's more model jobs for women, I would say, in my opinion. And so that already there's an injustice there, but there's many, many like barriers that you have to, cross. And it's either you're not in the right model industry because there's different classes or industries, locations. You have to not, if you're not right with the right model agent that actually believes in you. So I guess there's many different factors with that. Yeah.
That's really wild because I'm looking at some of the and I've noticed quite a few of them, which is seemingly hail from Africa. So that seems to be a pretty strong current in terms of look or trend. I know we tend to go through trends and transitioning different looks, but do you see that as kind of the gate where things are going now, that direction, that's what's hot?
Yeah, I think that you having your own identity, I think is what's kind of going right now. You're not really just like, we were talking about how they were talking about the white hanger, and it looks just, you're just kind of there. You're the model.
What?
You don't have a personality. Those models that don't have a personality, they're just that hanger. There's that white slate hanger. I don't think that's the case right now. I think that agencies are looking for that individual that want someone that has a special look. And if you have a certain special look, you probably should go to an agency that represent models with, unique looks and not so commercial, generic, and everyday. Yeah. So I think you just have to move around and really be in the right place, at the right agency at the right time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I was just, very being in that area. I know how it can be for female models, but even getting some of the major campaign ads. I know Tyson had Ralph Lauren Polo, which he carried that for a long time. But even with some of and I guess even for their counterpart in terms of there probably is still a significant disparity in terms of, getting some of the major advertising campaigns. You don't always see a lot of male models, but that, really, really stand out. But I was curious in terms, do you see their strength primarily more on the runway versus editorial, that they work more on the runway, on the shows, or do you see it working both ways?
It really depends on the model. I know a few models firsthand that walked shows for like Gucci and Dolce and Gabbana, and they're walking around, New York, just regular, right? But they don't really, the impact, I guess, is not, I don't really even know how to explain that. It's just as if we don't see models, and I talked about this in the last discussion with women. And if you're trying to do high fashion, there's not much high fashion in America. I mean, New York has certain designers that are high fashion, but you're gonna have to leave. You're gonna have to go overseas to really just kind of diversify your portfolio and not be trying, stuck in one lane, if that's the lane that you're stuck in, or if you're not even producing in that lane. You need to maybe open your your eyes and your opportunities and create the opportunity somewhere else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and that is very, very interesting. Well, we're going to take a quick break and we will be right back. Stay tuned. We have some great guests that are going to be joining us, Billy Estes and Quentin Marcellis, who are models in the Central Plains, and certainly want to hear some of their stories and their journey. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome, Quentin. How are you?
Good. Yes. How are you guys today?
I'm doing great. We're talking about how we were all snowed in and iced over here. So,
well, I'm happy to be on the show, and same with me. Definitely trying to, maneuver through all the winter weather.
Right.
How? Yes.
Yeah. So we were okay. So until we get the rest chatted, we'll go ahead and chat. We were chatting about, I guess, just challenges that you may face as a model here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I basically first maybe talk with you about challenges that you face here in Tulsa.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you want to chat about?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that I think everything is a mindset, because before I moved to New York City and I modeled down there, when I lived in Tulsa, well, before I moved to New York City, I had this mindset that I had to be somewhere else to be successful.
Yeah.
I had this mindset that there weren't opportunities here in Tulsa or Oklahoma. And when I moved to New York City and I pursued modeling down there, it was great. But honestly, I've had more opportunities in Oklahoma. So Oklahoma is really what helped me to leverage and grow my modeling career and my fashion career. And I'm still growing it. And I think going to New York City kind of laid the groundwork for me to be where I'm at right now, because I ended up meeting Tyson Beckford. I ended up meeting other models. I ended up modeling in Brooklyn Fashion Week, and I ended up going to New York Fashion Week. I ended up working with a stylist out there. And so I had a lot of cool opportunities that kind of laid the groundwork for where I'm at right now. Right. And I would say one of the biggest challenges, because it is Black History Month, is, of course, being an African-American model in a world where the competition is predominantly white, right? And so I think that going into those bigger markets and pounding the pavement and trying to get signed to agencies in New York City helped me open the door for the opportunities I have here in Oklahoma. So I would say the challenges
kind of shows you like, okay, this is it right here. Okay, I see. Okay, I can do this. I can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And so, I think that everything is, I'm learning about life that everything is a mindset, but when it comes to challenges and the way you see your success and the way you see opportunities that come to you, because if you let being African American, or you let being LGBTQ, or you let being whatever you are, right? Because none of us are the same. We're all different, right? So if you let anything about yourself be a hindrance in your mind, and you keep that in your mind, you're going to always kind of be set back, because the first thing you have to do is free your mind. So that's the one thing I realized. And once I freed my mind and I realized that I am worthy of what I desire, because God put that in my heart and my spirit, and what's for me is for me, the doors started to open. I ended up getting signed to an agency here in Oklahoma. I ended up being on the set of a movie and a TV show. And I also was able to be in several fashion shows. So I think that kind of helped me to open up, changing my mindset, but also networking. I think networking is key to success as well. So I think those things kind of helped me to be where I'm at now as a model and an artist. And, of course, there's going to be challenges, and there's always going to be challenges in this world, because there's so much going on, as you guys know, currently with, what we're going through right now with our current government and politics. But I think the main thing is use that challenge as not as your setback, but as your advantage.
I heard that.
And yeah, I can hear that is. I love the key thing that you said is mindset. Do you feel that you're in a different place, or do you feel that you have to leave this market to achieve your goals, or are you?
That's a really.
Go ahead.
Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was going to say that's a really good question. I've been meditating on that question for quite a bit, and I have a lot of voices around me who are trying to guide me to my goals and my dreams at the moment, family, friends. And I think the biggest thing is to bloom where you're planted. Because I can travel to New York, I can travel to LA, I can travel to Atlanta. And do I plan on moving to those other places or temporarily relocating? Definitely. If my career takes me to any of the bigger markets, that's definitely the goal. But I've also learned to not let that also be a hindrance to how I move and how I show up for myself. And I've taken advantage of a lot of opportunities here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Like, I don't know if you guys heard of Oklahoma Fashion Alliance, but we're about to be on season 4 of our model runway show that we've had for the last 2 years. And it's been a really big production, one of the biggest fashion productions here in Oklahoma, in fact. And it's been an amazing opportunity. And I think the biggest thing is to make a living, right? As the Tyson Beckfords and all the other supermodels that you mentioned, they're living in those bigger markets where you can actually make a living. doing this work. And that is definitely something that I desire to do. And that's definitely something that I want to do. And I see myself progressing and going further because I see it all around me. I see it happening, even just having the opportunity to be on this podcast. And I want to thank both of you for seeing my value and my worth and comparing me to all these amazing Black male models that have come before me and that are currently in my generation. And I just think that is, to me, being on this podcast right now speaks to my success. I've learned to look at my success in a lot of different ways and not be one dimensional about it. And I've also learned that it doesn't matter what age you are. I used to have this mindset that you have to be a certain age to make it. I have to be 20 years old to make it in this industry. I have to be, but I'm 33 right now and I've been having the most success and the most opportunities as a model. So I think that everyone's journey is different. Everyone's journey is unique. And I've just learned to trust my journey, and my journey is going to unfold. And eventually I'm going to get to those bigger markets, whether it be relocating or whether it be, opportunity or even traveling. So I've learned to kind of travel to where I need to be successful, but also, appreciate the beauty that Oklahoma has to offer and Tulsa has to offer, and, really bloom where I'm planted so that I can be more successful and not feel like I have to create this anxiety in my head to be in another location to be successful. Cause I used to think that I had to be, in New York or be in LA to be successful as an artist. But now I feel like where I'm at now, can help me to leverage and take myself further if I bloom where I'm planted, if that makes sense.
And I love that. I love that.
Have you copyrighted that?
I know.
You know what? I probably need to now that you mentioned it. Yeah.
Really inspirational. I think great information for those who are aspiring, because particularly in the fashion industry, Lonnie and I, we laugh, we say it a lot, don't sleep on Oklahoma. I mean, there's actually it's a real buzz. It's a really untapped market, but it definitely has a real presence. Fashion is really alive. The arts are really alive. Artists are really alive. It's really a whole vibe. And so it is exciting to hear about the things that you're doing and certainly how you're showing up and making things happen, because wherever you are, that's what it takes. You have to make it happen.
I think that's the key. Exactly what you just said is wherever you are, that's the key to making it happen. Because even in New York City, there are people that will move to those bigger markets and places, and they will be struggling. They will have the most struggle and they will have the most competition.
Yeah.
And I think being here in Oklahoma, it's allowed me to have more opportunities because people aren't moving to Tulsa to do this. People aren't moving to Tulsa to be an actor, a model, or a singer. You know what I mean? So because of that reason, I've had more opportunities be available to me. I've been able to access opportunities a lot more easier, because I'm not competing against a lot of people to do it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with competition, because in a sense, in this industry, there is a level of competition. But when you move to those bigger markets and places, you're pounding the pavement. It's a lot more harder, and it's a lot more difficult for models to really be seen and heard because you're in a sea of so many models that move there for that very reason, to do what you do. And then being in Oklahoma, the home of Black Wall Street and the growing millennial and Generation Z population here, there's a I don't know if you guys know this, but maybe you do, but Oklahoma is like the number one state for young entrepreneurs, one of the number one states for young entrepreneurs. And so I'm really taking advantage of that. And I'm seeing my success here because of that fact, because this is a very easy place to make a living. This is a very easy place to find success because there's not so much competition, because people aren't bum rushing to get to Tulsa. And so I've been able to have more opportunities, like being on the set of a TV show or a movie, or being in a lot of different fashion shows. So I think right now, I feel like God and the universe are kind of laying that groundwork for me to get to the places I wanted to be when I originally moved to New York City. Because now I have a lot of work under my belt and I have experience. And when I moved to New York, I didn't have the experience I have now that both places have allowed me to have.
I'm sorry, God, I was muted. But I wanted to ask you, when you were talking about that and you see the opportunities and you're making the opportunities happen for yourself here, find it hard to break into the fashion industry and what we do have here? Do you see a lot of despair in terms of cut? Like we don't need, not utilizing Black models or Black faces. Do you find that to be an issue at all? Or is it more just kind of owning your essence of what you bring to the table?
Ironically enough, I see a lot of diversity here in Tulsa. And I know for a lot of people that's surprising, but I see a lot of Black male models, in runway shows. I was a part of something that you guys may remember. It was called Runway Tulsa.
Yes. I was a part.
And so when I was, Runway, when I first moved from New York back here, I was kind of sad and I was depressed. Like, man, I was not happy when I moved back from New York City because I didn't think opportunities were available here. But when Runway Tulsa came along, I saw plenty of models of color involved with that show. You know what I mean? I saw every fashion show I've been in Oklahoma, I've seen plenty of models of color. In New York City, that's another story, right? And it's ironic. It's kind of ironic because you would think that in Oklahoma, the market here would be a little more closed-minded or secular when it comes to that. But I've seen more open-mindedness in the fact I've seen plus-size women on the runway. I've seen a lot of people on the runway that I never expected to see here in Oklahoma. So I would say from my personal experience, I can't speak for everyone's experience. I know there's probably someone out there that may have a different experience than me. But I would say from my experience, I've seen models of color represented on the runway, and I've seen people from all different walks of life on the runway. People from different ages, races, whatever, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, I have to answer that question in a long way, or kind of like the best I can. I think that Tulsa is actually growing. I think programs like, I don't know if you guys also know about Tulsa Remote. Tulsa Remote has helped a lot of people come here and grow our city.
Yeah.
And so I think that now we're kind of seeing the progress of that.
Yeah. A lot of opportunity. This is kind of where it's at right now, and I'm happy about the growth. I think that we are part of the growth. And I think that whatever we do is helping shape, the history here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
and I'm proud to say, and I've never been more proud to say that I'm from Tulsa. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of people on social media like, oh my God, I need to get out of Tulsa. I got to get out of Oklahoma. But I'm proud to say I'm from Oklahoma. I'm proud of Black Wall Street. I'm proud of the Native American history here. I'm proud of the Black community here and how resilient we are. So I'm pretty proud to say I'm from here and to say that I'm going to make it out of here, so.
Yep. So, all right. I see we have another guest who's joined us.
Hello.
Welcome.
Yeah, this was a task.
Well, I'm glad you're here. You made it.
Okay. Absolutely glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here. We were chatting so we have Mr. Estes, Mr. Billy Estes on the line. Yes. And we want to, talk to us about how you got started and basically how you got started and what inspired you to become modeling and acting and just being the great man that you are.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Well, I've been in the entertainment business all my life. From a little kid, I started playing the drums. And so it's kind of the same thing. It's an artistic type thing. So I started playing drums. And as I've always said, people will remind you of certain things. People constantly tell you certain things about yourself that so natural for you, you don't notice it, right? So I went through my whole life playing the drums and being in the entertainment business and just traveling the country. And then I have a daughter that's a singer. I started managing her career. And someone said something about me and how I dress, right? So I called my daughter. And I wasn't even on Instagram at the time. She goes, I'm going to set you up on Instagram. I said, okay. So she set me up on Instagram. She did a big photo shoot. And my first reaction to those pictures was from Banana Republic.
Nice.
Wow.
Right. And I said, okay. She goes, yeah, this is what you should do, Daddy. And they said, can we please use this picture? it was a nice picture that she had. I was in Texas and she did that picture, and that kind of started it there. From there I went and got an agency.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what agency are you working with, Billy? And was it hard for you to get representation?
No, it wasn't hard because, like I said, I'd been in the music business all my life playing drums. I played drums I did 20 years of playing on easily 70% of the TV commercials, playing drums on them around here. I mean,
right.
All of them, every one there was. You couldn't get in your car without me hearing myself playing drums. So that company was always hiring models to be in the videos, which I was never in. And so they steered me toward Linda Lehman. I'd always heard of them. So I went to Linda Lehman. And now I have 3 agents.
That's what I'm signed to right now, Linda Lehman.
Yeah. So I signed to Linda and that got things started.
Hey, rest in peace. She just passed, right? Just this past month.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, sure did. Great woman, nice woman, and I knew of them and I even took my daughter-in-law to them, walked her in the office to them because, I thought she should be doing this. And years later, here I am doing it.
And I love that, Billy, because sometimes we, when we get to a certain place in life, you'll think, oh, it's too late for me, that I can't pursue that. And it is definitely a major market. And I will say you have been really killing the game, so shout out to Tony, who I love his daughter. Like, he's so low key with it. I mean, she's a little phenomenal superstar. I know, right?
That's fun.
She's the superstardom resides in the family, so I do love that. What would you really encourage someone, Billy, that's looking to pursue? Because I know you started in the music industry, so you were knew how to kind of navigate. I know, Quentin, you're also an artist as well in the musical. How do you find that being an asset to be able to merge the various artistic things, attributes that you have to help blend or kind of flow into the other arena?
Yeah. I find it really easy, but it's, it's a journey. And as I said, they will tell you, they will look at you and say things to you. I've seen you, Sherry, for what? Many years, right?
Exactly. Yes. We go way back.
So, I mean, you know you, but I'm pretty sure people have said to you a million times, oh, you have beautiful eyes,
Thank you.
So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So people would say things about how I put things together, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And I was playing drums in a club here, and a guy came up to me and said, have you ever done voiceovers? At the time, no. He said, I like the way you speak. Will you please do a voiceover? And so I wasn't looking for that. It's kind of like what's on you it's going to find you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You have to react to that. And because of that, there used to be a thing called paid per view. You remember that?
Pay per view.
Where you pay and you watch the movies?
Right.
And they had all these national TV commercials on there. I was the voice for pay per view for 10 years, and no one knew that. I did all their commercials.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, around the country, I did that, along with playing drums on commercials. So the artistic thing kind of flowed that way for me. And
still flowing.
Man.
Absolutely.
I tell you what, man, when I look at people like yourself and Quentin, it's absolutely an amazing blessing to be my age and things flowing this way.
Yeah.
And I'm about to get off here in a bit, and I want to tell you something, Billy. You inspire me so much because you are doing it at this age, and I want to be doing it at your age.
My friend, you will be doing it and beyond.
Well, thank you so much. And also you being a music artist as well. I mean, I feel like I see so much of myself in you. And that's why I'm so honored to be a part of this conversation. And I'm so honored to know that I can be doing it at your age, because I told myself at a young age that I want to model for the rest of my life. And I see music and fashion and modeling to kind of be very seamless. Like, music videos, you need fashion to be in a music video. You need modeling is a form of acting as well. You know what I mean? Where you're behind the camera. I mean, it all kind of ties together. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to go ahead and get off here. And I actually work at Coach. I don't know if you guys know about Coach, but Coach is one of my favorite brands and a luxury brand right now that I've been representing and modeling for at the moment. So I'm about to actually get ready to get to Coach. But I want to tell you guys, thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this conversation. Billy, I want to tell you, I'm so happy to meet you, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you and connecting with you guys more. And this is such an amazing conversation to have during Black History Month. So happy Black History Month to you guys. And thank you for seeing my worth and my value and inviting me to the table to talk about it.
Well, absolutely. My pleasure, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all right. We thank you and know that you are absolutely amazing. And we're going to certainly have you back. The conversation is just starting. We'll be following you and continue to do what you do and keep shining.
Thank you so much. You guys have an amazing rest of your day, and happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Month to you.
Cheers.
Have a great day. Well, Billy, what is next for, what would you say, what's next for you? You have done so much. Are there any things that are particularly your favorites or?
Well, as I said, I feel enormously blessed, Sherry. I just last week, when people ask me, as you know, that you get so many invites that you don't get. And just last week, I had a read for a Kia commercial that's shooting in Korea, right?
Oh, okay.
And so when these things come across my email, I'm flattered that because they were casting across the country.
And it's your resume. I mean,
your resume, yeah.
Yeah, and so I said, wow, who put my name in this arena here? It says that they see me. So I just got to keep doing what I'm doing.
And I've learned that people are watching, and we don't know who's watching.
You don't know. And I always say it's all it takes is one. It's one something, somebody, or situation can be totally life changing. Can just
one.
Change.
That's all it takes is one.
But the commitment, like you said, you put in the work and you're very consistent with it. And I think that's a key thing to really point out. You're very consistent.
Mm-hmm. Well, two things. There's a very famous comedian, I won't call his name, but I see him on Instagram, and I said something about one of his pictures. And he actually hit me back and said, what are you talking about? Have you seen your page?
Wow.
I said, wow, that's interesting, And so being consistent is it. And when you get in this arena that I am, my age bracket, it's you don't see anyone else, especially in my demographics here in this area, doing what I'm doing.
Not
at all.
So
for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's going to be like, am I doing the right thing? Because I've had people say, what are you doing? Da, 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 da. And so I just have to overlook that and stay focused on what I'm supposed to be doing. This is natural for me. And so I just push forward, because people will talk you out of it. That's their job.
I really appreciate you sharing that part because, we're actually at my church, I go to Transformation and we are, talking about death to distractions. And it is a phenomenal series, but I say that to say really understanding and knowing your purpose and owning that part is so imperative. And yet we get so lost and can be distracted so easily and taken off our course. And I really appreciate that you are able to shut out the noise and really know who you are, the value of what you bring and your gifts, and you're not afraid to utilize them and put them out there?
I've come up with two things in my life as I study stuff.
How do I sound? Do I sound crazy?
You sound okay.
No, absolutely not. But I found that, people are in a mad dash to be second. You know what I mean?
That's good. Yeah.
What I mean by that is that they're going to wait until someone else does it. Then they're going to jump in it. Well, you're second now. So if something crosses my mind, like years ago, I read a book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway.
Yep, I like that.
So if I see something I want to do, if it gives me any fear, I go, oh Lord, now I'm obligated to do it. I have to push through that fear. And it's just, what your heart says. I'm not, it's like the addictiveness to sameness. Everybody wants to be alike. And when I see Quentin, I look at these pictures and stuff, I go, I love this. I love this. I mean, I'm very conscious now of my age and what I shouldn't be in. And what I mean by that is age appropriate.
Right.
I'm not going to dress like, for the lack of words, an old man, but I'm not going to dress like I'm 25 either.
Exactly.
I'm going to stay current and age appropriate. So just stick to your guns. What's just so natural for you. And because if you don't, you regret it. And I don't know if I could live with regret.
And why live with regret? I want to ask you, Billy, because you have so many talents, you're truly gifted in just so many areas. Did you ever feel that you had to make a choice and I can only do one thing and I have to just focus on that? Or were you able to allow yourself to flow and expand into other areas, but hone in to maybe what your strongest attributes were?
I'm really good at knowing what I'm not good at.
Okay.
I think that is my strongest thing I got going for me. I know I'm not going to excel in that arena over there. Now, along with that, I get kind of scatterbrained sometimes. Okay, I want to do this photo shoot. I got to be in this commercial. Oh, I want to play the drums over here. I'm trying to write this movie. So I get all in that way. So no, I don't feel anything about trying things. Life is to be lived. And at the end of my journey, I want to be exhausted I exhausted my gifts that I was given. I tried it. I did it. I grew up in a little small town, Sherry.
Okay.
And there was no artist. There was none. There was one guy, he was older than me, he played saxophone, and he got me started in music. But there was just none. So I started playing drums at 14.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I got 14 and a half, maybe 15, I was on shows with Al Green.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow. So I wasn't going to play football. Not me. That ain't going to happen. I just wasn't any good at sports. But when I discovered the
my
drums,
family was trying to push me to play football. You know that. And then so many great things have just fell on me. When I'm looking to the right and going that way, something always touches me on my left shoulder and say, hey, look over here. And I look over there and it'll be the best thing in the world for me that I wasn't even thinking about. And it's so natural for me, So no, I don't feel that I need to stick here or there. I'm going to try it. Like I say, I have this movie in my head that I have to work on it,
Oh,
and hope that people love it. Yeah.
And I love that. And Lonnie, you jumped in there and with both, and and I want to just even ask from both of you, how hard was that? Particularly, Lonnie, you come from a lineage of just phenomenal athletes, right? Superstar power there. And you're superstar in your lane. How but knowing I love that what you said, but I know what I'm not good at. I love that. I really love that. But deciding like, that's not for me, even though it may be in my DNA or so you think, but this is my path, and choosing to honor that and move in that direction, when everybody else is saying, but you should be doing something else.
Mm-hmm. I guess trusting. I think you already know deep down. Well, I do. Kind of those things that I want to do. I know what I don't want to do, and if I'm being pushed to do something that I definitely don't want to do or see myself doing, then I had to figure that out as a kid to tell the adults, oh no, even though I'm fast, no, this isn't for me. Maybe track, So then I ran track. Like that was my athleticism, but I had to really find out what really, really I loved, and I didn't find that out until I left Tulsa, really, or I didn't really realize it,
Right. I was saying that people will remind you. People probably told you things about yourself, Lonnie, all your life. That's so natural to you it's like drinking water to you, but people point it out to you. And then you go, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I was at BMW one day about a year ago, and this lady was in the store, and I recognized her. It was Amber Valletta. Are you familiar with her?
Right. Yes.
Superstar.
Right.
Yeah, superstar. And I saw this lady, and I said, okay. And I had just finished the movie, and I said, okay, I've got to show this to her. But this other part of my brain was saying, leave that woman alone.
Mm.
Then the other part was saying, when are you going to see her again?
Mm-hmm.
Take advantage of it, Billy. Yeah, present it to her right. So I said, excuse me, I want to show you a video, and I don't want to bother you. She says, no, show it to me. So I showed her the trailer to the movie. She goes, wow. Then I said, one other thing, I showed her one of my videos on my Instagram page. And she looked at me, she said, show me more.
Wow.
And then she goes, you know what? I'm following you right now. And she clicks on my picture. So here's this lady at the top of the game and has been for 20 years or plus.
Right.
And
right.
It was like she's Tony's class of 93, unless she was at Booker T.
Booker T.
Yeah, she's a little older than Tony. Yeah. But it was just validation that, yeah. And anytime anyone says anything to me, it just reminds me that we see you. And I did. Don't let me hog this conversation, Sherry. Okay?
No, go ahead.
I put a picture up once about a year ago, and within 30 minutes, I had like 10,000 views. I was going, okay, this is cool. Love this. 10,000 views in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
About an hour later, I had about 20,000 views. By the time I went to bed that night, I had 40 or 50,000 views.
Wow.
By the next night, I had 150,000 views from around the world, from literally around the world, China, blah, 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 blah. And they were saying such kind things, and I was going, wow, validation that what you're doing is what you're supposed to be doing, Billy. And that I get a lot of comments from men, which for some reason I really like that, because it says to me, I love them from women, but my brain goes into my maleness then, like I'm all that. You know what I'm saying?
You can appreciate when another man compliments you.
Yeah. When men compliment me, it says, they'll say like, "Hey, brother, I love what you're doing, man.
Mm-hmm.
Keep doing it, man. For my age bracket, keep doing it. Oh, brother." And they'll just hit me and say things, or they'll see me in public and say, "Bro, I love this. I love that. I love that." So I said, man, just the fact that I'm bringing, when people take time to say things like that to me,
yeah,
it means that I've brought you a little bit of joy.
Exactly.
Who can ask for more than that? That I don't know what this person is going through personally, but for a moment there, I gave them some joy, hope, or whatever it is that they feel when they see those pictures or see me in public. Or, it's just a very cool thing.
Yes.
This has been so, what you have absolutely brought the joy and inspiration. I hate we're drawing at the close of the show, and on that note, I think that's just an appropriate way to end it. That the inspiration that you certainly are and continue to be, and that you just keep doing what you're doing, and if nobody gravitates to anything else, I think listening to that small voice and that inner voice, and and just getting in tune with who you are and what you bring and owning it, I think you and Quentin both are just wonderful examples of what one can do and can become. And I just want to wish you continued success. And we definitely will have to have you back, Billy, because your story is we just getting started.
We sure are.
We just getting started.
Well, hey, it's absolutely my pleasure. And thank you for thinking of me. And as you know, Sherry, you call, I jump.
Oh, well, we'll get ready because we'll be calling again real soon.
Would you say, watch your head, Billy? You're going to the moon.
Oh yeah, you already there. We want to catch you before you go all the way up to Mars and all those other planets. But we're gonna be watching you and go along for the ride. And Lonnie, you have any closing words?
I don't. I think we he said it all.
You've said it all. You really have. You have ended it on the perfect note. But I certainly wish everybody safety in this crazy weather while you're out there, and blessings on a wonderful weekend, and just keep it stylish and fashionable and keep doing what you're doing.
All right. You guys have a great day.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Lonnie, we'll talk soon.
We'll talk soon.
All right. Ciao.